Great. I'm just going to start our little workshop class today. It's about how do we deal with disrespect and how do we use the process of the work when there are people at work that create, a toxic culture through disrespect. And my name is Steph Skupin, and I've used and facilitated the process that I'm sharing with you today for the last 15 years. I did record an intro video, and that is on YouTube. If you're seeing this video and you haven't seen that one, you're welcome to just contact me for the link and I'm happy to give it to you. So today what we're going to do is, again, introduce the process of the work and practice it a little bit as well. So what the work is really powerful in is changing perspectives. And if we're enabling us to change a perspective, we can turn almost any situation into something that we can deal with. What the work does really is it is opening up the perspective. So it's not really like we see something like in one way and now we see it in a different way. And so this was true before and now this is true. No, it's more about this is what I thought. And now that I'm looking closer, I can see that this and this and this are also applicable. So what happened is that the perspective we had before was just limited. It wasn't wrong. It was just limited. And because in the moment, especially when it's about disrespectful behavior, we feel attacked or we feel unseen or, disrespected. In those moments, we end up shutting down and we can't see the whole picture. We don't allow ourselves to see the whole picture. And in that way, we are unable to respond proactively because we react out of fear for ourselves or for other people, right? So a lot of the time, disrespect situations is when we feel like we want to defend other people. And so what happens is we end up calling the person who's disrespectful out, right? We're telling them this is wrong, or we shut down. But what we can do when we look at situations with the process of the work is we get better at calling them in. And calling in means we ask what is going on. We try to understand. And we allow all of us to be part of a situation. Because a lot of the time, the situation isn't just this little isolated piece that we're seeing and reacting to. It has a past and a future, and we want to respond to all of that. We want to be able to proactively influence all of that positively. So the reactivity that we have, that is born out of fear and injury, and that's essentially at the root of the huge division we see in our culture, workplace cultures, and political culture at the moment as well, and not just the US. It's all over the world. And it's not a fault. It's not like wrong in itself. It's a defense mechanism. So it's understandable. And yes, we can do better. But if we continue to keep judging it as wrong, then we continue to not call in, to not be understanding. So if you had a moment to get yourself a prompt, to think about the prompt, and the prompt was, who at your workplace disrespects either you or other people. And then the idea is to keep, as I'm going through this work, to keep your example in mind, and in your mind, answer the questions that I'm giving, the questions of the process of the work. So the example that I'm giving today, that I'm taking you through, is I suppose most people in managing or leadership roles have by now encountered this example is that, you have a young employee and they got their phones, right? And so this moment, I just actually read a really funny quote or saying on that one the other day, and it's like, I'm not disrespecting you, I am prioritizing my cell phone. So this young employee is on the phone, and it's a situation that I've had as well when I was working as a practice manager, not a practice manager, as a manager. And so this young employee is being asked to put the phone away and is failing to follow the directive. Like, right now, I need you to put this phone away right now. And that's not happening. And so we look at the situation and we take our thought on them through the questions of the work. And so the work is really just 4 simple questions. And the questions are, is it true what I'm thinking about them? Can I absolutely know it's true? How do I react? What happens when I believe this, what I'm thinking about them? And who would I be in this moment if I wasn't thinking this thing about them? So that's what I'm taking you through. And yeah, it's by far the best way of experiencing this work is to focus specifically on a situation that's been happening in your life. All right, so this person, this young employee, she's in that moment, she's disrespecting me. So I can see myself, she's in the office, I walk past, I can see she's on the phone, I stop and I say, hey, are you on your break? Are you taking your break? The answer is no. And then I say, okay, so I need you to put the phone away, please. And she says yes and stays on the phone, right? Very familiar. So in that moment, she's disrespecting me. She's disrespecting me. In that moment, is that true? And one other thing, I am choosing for this example, a situation that doesn't hurt too much, because as we're learning this process, we want to get familiar with it without feeling defensive. So I don't choose a situation of a racial slur that I've explored in my book with a veterinarian. I don't choose a situation of a sexual harassment, because right now we just want to get to know the process. And those situations are very, very charged. So an easy situation, someone's on the phone. So in that moment, she's not putting it away. She's staying on your phone. She's disrespecting me. Is this true? And I invite you to be with your situation or follow me, or maybe you can do both. And the answer to this question, is it true, is either yes or no. Making it simple for our mind, making it clear. It's not yes, but, it's not well, if. It's either yes or no. Is it true? She's disrespecting me. And when I go back to that situation, for me in that moment, it's a yes. I feel like, whoa, are you not like, do you remember who I am? I'm like your superior and I'm asking you to do something that's in our, in our regulations, and you're not even looking at me and you're not listening. You're not doing what I'm asking you to do. So she's disrespecting me. Yes, it's true. And then the second question, can I absolutely know that this is true? In this moment, she is disrespecting me. Can I absolutely know that this is true? The answer again is a yes or no. And it's not to ask you to change your mind. It's a question to ask you to slow down and look again. There isn't a wrong or right answer. It's not like, oh, okay, well, I suppose somebody wants me to say no. It's not that. It's really just to slow down and look at it again. She's disrespecting you in this moment. She's on the phone. She's not listening. Is this true? Can I absolutely know that that's what's happening? And my answer would be no. I've done this work a lot. So my answer would be no, I can't absolutely know that that's what's happening. And what would be your answer in your situation? Can you absolutely know that it's true that you're being disrespected? And then the third question of the work, this is where it really starts to be interesting for everybody who's interested in their own inner world and who loves to really change, how life looks. How do I react? What happens when I believe this thought? How do I react? What happens when I believe this thought? She's disrespecting me. So coming back again to the situation, she's saying yes, but she's not doing it, not putting the phone away. How do I react? What happens? So first, anger. That's the first thing that happens. I get tense. My shoulders get tense. My neck gets tense. I get a feeling in my tummy like in my abdomen, like I'm being punched. I don't breathe well. And I can feel my face going even more wooden. It's already wooden there's already a sense of disrespect before that. Like she's not on her break, she's on her phone. She's not attending to me. She's attending to the phone on her work time. So there's already a severity that I'm bringing, that I have there. So my face is hard. I don't smile. I will look a little staring, probably. And I potentially will move into her space, just a little, leaning forward, sticking my head more into her space. Maybe looking at her from the side, going, what do you mean? Like, did you hear me? That's what happens. What might come up is similar situations in my mind. Oh yeah, she's done this before. She doesn't ever listen. Similar situations with other people like her when I was feeling disrespected. And the anger takes over into my voice, into my interaction with her. She's disrespecting me. That's what happens. And in that same moment, who would I be without the thought? This is the fourth question of the work. Who would I be without the thought that she's disrespecting me? So again, we look at, in question 3, we look at our reaction, what we're thinking about them, what we're doing, how we're treating them. And then in question 4, we take that step back. We leave the trigger. We just have another look. So it definitely is a mindfulness question. It's a way of meditating on what happened and trying to understand better. Who would I be without the thought that she's disrespecting me? So she's still doing the same thing. She's still not putting her phone away. She's on her phone, not on her break. But who would I be without the thought she's disrespecting me right now? And so the first thing that happens is I see her. I see her. Something is important to her on that phone right now. There is something going on for her. It's not my concern. I wasn't interested. So I ask, what's up? What's happening? My body feels very different with that question. I am not tense. I'm open. I feel interested. I feel concerned. Like, I want to know. I know this is, she's on my team. She's one of my team. I rely on her. She's a nice kid. Like her. Oh, disrespecting. There we go. I'm disrespecting there. I think of her as a kid. She's an adult. Without the thought that she's disrespecting me. So she's chosen to look at her phone. Something there is important. And I want to understand. And then I see her say, oh, no, it's nothing. It's nothing. And so without the thought that she's disrespecting me, I then can ask, well, do you know about the policy for cell phones? Do you understand why we have it? So is this something that can wait till later? So I'm no longer the angry manager. I am the understanding supervisor. And with that approach, I have a connection with her. Do you understand why we have this policy? Yeah, I do. Sorry. And the phone gets put away. And if I want to, I can pick it up later again and I can say, listen, this was the third time I'm going to have to ask you to keep your phone in your bag or in a locker or somewhere because you're giving an example for others. If I don't make you do it, why would everyone not have their phone? So I can explain rather than demand. And that just feels a lot better. I don't feel disrespected. I feel happy with how I'm handling the situation. And what I'm getting back is not disrespect, but connection. Who would I be without this thought? And then the last part of the work is turnaround. So we take the original thought we have, the original belief about this person, and we turn it around. We turn it to the opposite, which would be either she's not disrespecting me or she is respecting me in that moment. And then we turn it to the other. I am disrespecting her. And I already came up with that little example right there. I called her a kid in my mind. And then I'm disrespecting myself. How is that true? And for all of these turnarounds, we look for examples of how is this true? How in this situation is this true? It's not the same question as question one. Is it true? It's a different emphasis is how is this true? Can I find a way that this is also what's happening? Not the only thing. This is also what's happening. So she's respecting me in this moment. How could that be true? And the way I can see it, she's still on her phone. She's not putting it away. She's respecting me. I can see that she's shutting me out because in that moment, to engage with my intensity and what's happening for her would be too much. So I can see respect there. She's respecting me. She does when I say what's happening, when I ask. She does respect me. She's respecting me. She's got the phone in the in the office. She doesn't carry it on the floor. So she's respecting me in that way. And then I see other times, like this is a moment of an 8-hour day, and I see all the other times in that 8-hour day where she is respecting what I'm saying. She's following directions. She's doing good work. All of those are true. So she is respecting me. And then the turnaround, I am disrespecting her. Starting with, how can this be true? Starting with, I call her a kid. I decide she's less, what her reasoning of why she's on the phone is definitely less important than my reasoning of why she shouldn't. Yep. Not equal at all. Disrespect. I am disrespecting her. In the moment that that I decide that her decision to be on the phone cannot be as important as what I think she should be doing, that is disrespect. Yep. And then I am disrespecting myself in that moment. In a way, one could see it like I come in thinking that her action is about me. Her action, whatever she's doing with my phone, right? With her phone, right? She's prioritizing what's on her phone, and I make it about me. I say, oh, that must mean she's not respecting me. So there is the disrespect that I'm feeling. If I look at the situation without making it about me, then it's someone who's on their phone for reasons of their own. And the only thing that's about me is what I think is happening. So I'm disrespecting myself. And if I get into that thought pattern, then I make myself feel bad. I make myself feel attacked. And I make myself feel tense. And I forget that I have other ways of handling this situation if I slow down. And if I use this method to question what I'm thinking. So that's basically it. That's all there is to the work. You can really go deeply into these situations. And I have done this on many, many occasions. Because over time, we train our minds in different thinking patterns. Because we take the situation through this process, when we're not in that moment, we don't need to defend ourselves quite as much. So we're enabling us to look at different ways that this could be interpreted, and then different ways of how we could respond to it. And in those ways, we can feel how they, in our body, we can feel how they feel better, less tense, more open, facial expression, more smiling, more respectful towards other people. And for all the years that I've worked as a supervisor of some way or another with people, once I start doing the work on these situations of toxicity, of disrespect, of gossip, and I come across as different towards that person's behavior changes. I've seen it happen again and again. So I hope this was helpful, and we're going to have another class next week, another free class. This video is going to be up on YouTube. Please feel free to make any comments or to share it with other people. And yeah, I hope this has been a little bit helpful, and feel free to also reach out with any questions about this work. Great. Have a fantastic rest of your day.